What is the organizational role to make climate conscious students?
Yeah, thank you again for their participation. Now, I think that the importance here comes or stems from the need of repositioning education, if I can talk about the holistic thing, repositioning the education as a process of constructing meaning rather than merely transforming knowledge or training learners or students on technical skills as we usually do in our systems. So the proposed framework should be based on the idea, as I reflected on in my paper, that spiritual intelligence forms foundational cognitive, not only cognitive and ethical structure that nurtures the maturity of emotional intelligence and anchors it within moral principles that we all accept and agree on, but it should be translated into sustainable practices and responsible global practices, global citizenship practices. So, for example, school or university that cultivates self-awareness, compassion, reflective reframing sometimes, and human transcendence. I call it human transcendence. This is very important. This is the issue that makes our schools and universities can build a better learner who is able to regulate emotions, expand empathy, and transform values into active civic commitments. So again, we go to commitment and ethical commitment. So, and you can see from many different researchers that I have seen here that show that spiritual intelligence is a coherent and developable capability. And this is good, that it's developable. And it functions as an integrating intelligence, connecting the cognitive, the emotional, and ethical dimensions of learning. So, to go back to your question, yes, we have to work on the cognitive, emotional, and ethical dimensions, which open the door for intentional pedagogies here that strengthens the meaning and the purpose in our curricula and classroom practices. So I here end with this idea that within the framework of what we call the Logos theory, and I'm sure all my colleagues know that the Logos theory is presented as the organizing principle that links inner values to outward behavior. So Logos here, as you know, refers to the lived meaning, which becomes visible in the learner's decisions and actions. So the curricula here should be designed to allow learners to explore when I say learners, it's all of us, not only our students and we as professors or doctors and expertise, that we should explore the personal sense of purpose and meaning and translate it into practice, reflect on it with structured, contemplated and ethical dialogue, and to work on community engagement projects. So this is the practical part. So we move from enabling spiritual intelligence to action as a driving force for emotional intelligence. And through this lens, or through these lenses, emotional intelligence is strengthened not only by awareness and regulations, it will be responsible empathy that moves beyond emotion and social meaningful engagement. And that's what supports sustainable thinking into complex problem solving and value-based decision making. I think this is the whole perspective, how it should be aligning with our contemporary research in global citizenship education. Thank you.
Amani, thank you so much for bringing intentional pedagogy, because I'm a big advocate for intentional pedagogy. Because the more we learn, the more we know, we start doing things like without intentionally thinking about it. So we develop curriculums, we develop programs without intentionally thinking about the pedagogy that we want from this program.
Right.
So thank you so much for bringing it in the discussion. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Back to you.